So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 has been out now for a couple of weeks. It has made a lot of money. It has made... Let's see here. I just had it in front of me. Where did it go? Yes. $636.9 million at the box office, and probably now that we're about to be in its third weekend, it's probably going to make a lot more than that. So we both saw it. What'd you think?
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was as good as the first one. My brother thought it was way better than the first one, which was interesting. That I just don't. Let's see. A couple of problems that I had with it. Number one, oh my gosh.
So are there going to be spoilers?
Not for this one particularly, but
okay. But probably within. Just spoiler warning now. We'll go ahead and throw that out now.
The music was way over the top. I felt like the old 80s songs, like in the first one, they were sprinkled in there and it was cute and everyone liked, oh, it's like the tape in the movie is like I can actually get it as an album. It's cool. They took that from the first one and they just like poured it on heavy like in this one. Like there wasn't a single like moment without like some song playing, it seemed. Like, I don't know, to me, and I wasn't even looking for it. It just stuck out like a sore thumb to me. And like, it's not like the songs were even bad. Like they fit well, but it was just a lot. Like there were hardly any moments without like okay, well, like it was just a lot. And like you couldn't have like a serious moment without some like 80s song starting to play, or like a joke made. I don't know. That kind of annoyed me, but it doesn't really mess it up. But it just seemed like a little bit much to me. You didn't really feel that?
Well, I think the reason why, like, now that you mention it, yeah, there was a lot more music in it. I think the reason why, though, is because in the first movie, you learn that the reason why is it Quinn or no Quill?
Quill.
Why Quill listens to the music is because like that's the tape that his mom gave him. So, and then you see him get the second volume at the end of the first movie. So I feel like that made sense for them to do that, because in this film there's a lot of focus on his mom, even more so than in the first movie.
Also, maybe it's like he just got the tape, so he's listening to it a lot more often.
Yeah, now that he's with his crew, you know, he spent some time with the other Guardians. They've also, some of them have also taken to his music.
Drax. But yeah,
I was thinking Baby Groot
as well. But Drax likes it, but yeah. But I just can't help but look at it from like a production standpoint, where they're like, hey, look how good this was in the first one, let's just do it a lot more. Another problem, probably my biggest problem, is how they defeat Ego. I did not like that it was just blow him up with a bomb, you know, like you do.
I thought that was poetic.
I didn't like it.
Do you realize that? And so major spoiler if you keep watching, if you.
Yes,
you know,
it was cool how they tied the batteries into it.
No. I'm not even saying the batteries.
What?
Okay, so again, major spoiler warning. Like, this is pretty much like one of the big twists in the film. So when Ego told Peter that he basically gave his mom the brain tumor, it's like they killed him the same way that he killed Peter's mom.
Yes. And I realized that it had the whole kind of climax of Peter like realizing that it's in his heart and whatever, and he kind of beat Ego in that way. I just don't like. I would have liked a more clever way of defeating a god rather than just some powerful bomb, which is another thing that confuses me. It's just a thought, and like he didn't have an actual like an only physical thing.
Living planet.
So
he's always been a living planet.
He said he just formed as a thought, and then he started creating stuff around him.
Well,
so how is he just a brain?
I mean, he described himself as a thought, but the whole time, like the earliest form you see of him is that brain.
So maybe like, just as he formed the planet over time, he formed the brain over time. Like he's a thought, and then he builds up the brain over millions of years. And so they destroyed the brain, and now he's just a thought again, and he won't come back. Because I can't understand how he's completely dead just by a bomb, if he was essentially a spiritual being rather than only physical. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so maybe, like, it's just he's dead for now, like, millions of years later.
Well, he's a god in the same sense that the Asgardians are gods. Like, he's not really a god. He's just, like, this particular type of being that is called a celestial.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't, I mean...
But he's, like, a thought. So, like, I just don't see how you can kill him just by physical means of a bomb.
Because that's what he turned into.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. I didn't. It was a little bit disappointing that was what it was. Like, I was like, okay, so, like, because, like, it's kind of like an exciting thing to wonder, like, ooh, how are they gonna kill this guy?
Right.
And then it's just, oh, blow him up.
I'll just blow him.
Blow him up at the brain. Like, it sounds kind of like a childish story. Oh, and then they the center of the bad guy, and that's where he's weak. That's his weak spot. And then you have the bomb. Boom, he's dead. Like,
that being said, I thought in general he was a much more interesting villain than Ronan.
Definitely, but I just mean the ultimate way of killing him. Like, that was just a little bit disappointing. But he was definitely a very interesting villain, and I liked the fact that going into the movie, I did not expect that at all. Now, obviously, I totally saw it coming in the movie. I was like, okay, the plot can't simply be them running from gold and all the galaxy. And then as soon as, like, Mantis was like, I need to tell you something, I was like, okay, there we go. And
something's afoot.
Yeah, and some people even figured it out earlier than that. I didn't, simply because I believe that Ego would be cool, because, like, in the comics he's not evil. And, like, I kind of, like, wanted him to be cool, I guess, but then I was like, okay, he's gonna turn evil. And so I give the movie a lot of props for that, because I was not expecting it going into it. So it was done very well too. You can understand why he wants to do it. I mean, his name's Ego, for crying out loud. Like,
yeah, and you see where Peter gets it from now.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked it. Not as good as the first one, but it was still, and the character development was much better. From the first one, like, because, you know, the first one was really just establishing them as a group.
Yes.
And now that they're like that, it shows more. You can see more into their character, like of Peter and Gamora. Obviously, the whole thing with her sister, and Drax was just hilarious. Yeah. Another problem that I have, it's not really. It's just kind of, I like Big Groot way more than I like Baby Groot, and I get it. You gotta have Baby Groot. You gotta sell toys. You know. But he's just so much cooler when he's big and can actually do stuff. You know, I get it, he's so cute as little Baby Groot, but it kind of got old after a little bit. But it could be cool, like, you see him as baby in this one, and then maybe in either Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or probably Infinity War, like, Groot comes back and he's, like, even bigger than he was in the first movie. Like, that would be kind of a cool reveal. So, also, some characters first. Like, that whole moment with Rocket and Yondu felt super forced. Was I the only one? Did you not think that?
A little bit.
Like,
yeah.
They were only, like, together for, like, a few minutes, and he's just like, I am you, boy!
Yeah, he had a lot of, like... It was
kind of awkward to me.
He was too wise.
Yeah, and also we had already been there with Rocket, right? He already had his whole tangent about how his life sucks in the first movie. I don't know.
Yeah, but no one really talked to him about it. He just got to say, like, why he, you know, was, like, they made him a sympathetic character in the first movie.
Yeah, what about you?
So I thought, I'm right in the middle of the road. I think it was just as good as the first movie, and with some improvements here and there. I'm really getting tired of people looking at movie sequels, and they can't just look at that sequel as a movie by itself. They always compare it to the previous movie. Why do you have to do that? Just don't do that.
Because it has the same title as the first one.
But don't go into the movie expecting, you know, don't be like, all right, how does this one compare? Like, that just makes, I feel like what you're doing is you're giving it an unfair metric that you didn't do with the first movie.
Yeah. Well, it's natural to compare it to it. It has the same title,
but I feel like if you're doing that as a movie critic, you're not being truly objective.
No, yeah. But and don't let it sway your opinion of the movie, just your opinion of it compared to the first one.
Because
like I didn't dislike the movie. I thought it was a great movie, but when I do compare it to the first one, I just say it's not as good.
But people have been saying, like,
I was disappointed.
Like, well, no, they would say, like, simply because it wasn't as like groundbreaking, or you
how do
kind of
you
know what
expect-
to expect now.
Well, duh.
But it's like, but
kinda
that's
weird.
not the movie's fault. Like, you shouldn't
Yeah.
fault the movie for the fact that you saw the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't do that. That just annoys me. Like, I just need to get that off my chest first. Oh my goodness, the humor. I didn't think
was
that
funny.
this movie would be so much funnier than the first movie, but I thought that it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so I like what they did with Drax. Like, so Drax's character arc is kind of over because his beef was with Ronan, and Ronan died at the end of the first movie, so he doesn't really have, any story. So they just made him into a funny character. Batista was able to, like, just take it to, I guess he was able to up the ante as far as how he did his humor and I thought
His laugh.
his laugh was good. And it's not, his humor has, like, it's evolved since the first movie. Like, the first movie, the whole thing was he didn't understand colloquialisms and just sayings or phrases.
Yeah.
Like, he would take everything literally.
Nothing goes over my head. I'm too quick.
And
I
I
would
would
catch it.
Yeah. Things like that. I thought that there wasn't a single joke like that
Not
from
really,
Drax. No. He has other forms of humor that he doesn't, or just the fact that he'll think certain things are funny that aren't necessarily funny, or he totally thinks something serious that is funny. Like, just kind of that I feel like they've really nailed him down as a character, already in the second movie. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, the part where Yondu, Rocket, and that one Ravager were jumping so many times, and like their faces.
Oh, and they saw the
getting
Watchers with Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
But
did you hear what Stan Lee was talking about? How he worked for FedEx.
Yeah.
You remember when he worked for FedEx, right?
In one of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, in Civil War. So the theory is that he is one of the Watchers, and that he's the Watcher of Earth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I just like the fact that they're going.
That was so weird. It looked like they had some weird Skype, like a MacBook, like photo booth filter on their faces.
But every time I lost it. Like that part of the, like, I know it's such a simple
I thought
thing
it was
to
kind
do.
of dumb and awkward.
Oh, it was so funny to me because of how extreme they made their faces look, and like how they're just sitting there locked and going. It was so.
I didn't understand those things though. Those, like, what?
They were jumps. They were like warps, but that you can't just hit a button and zip somewhere like you can in Star Wars.
So were they like made there? Were they machines?
They were
looked
like
ripples in reality or something.
Yeah, just think of it. They don't need explanation.
Do you have any problems with the movie?
The problems that I had with the movie, I didn't like how it just basically was like I actually didn't like how that opening sequence with them helping out. I remember the name of the gold people.
Sovereign.
The Sovereign. That's right. I didn't like how that like became like a constant like nagging thing in the movie.
You mean the Sovereign
like,
chasing them?
Yeah, they just kept chasing them, and then all those ships would get blown up, and then they would just get more ships, and then all those ships would get blown up, and then they would get more ships, and then they're it's just like, okay, guys, this is stupid. You sent the whole fleet after them. How do they keep getting more ships? It's just one of those things that was kind of like.
I think it's important because the Sovereign are obviously going to be very important because of the certain end credit scene where they revealed a certain person.
Yeah, and I didn't know who that was at first.
Really?
Until, not at first.
I've heard of him because there was a reference to him in the first movie in the collector's place. There's this perfectly resembles the Cocoon from the comics. And so that was when I heard about it. I looked it up afterwards. And then later James Gunn said that was just a joke, obviously, for this one being the real deal. That's why they established it to look different and metallic. Yeah. And so when it showed that, I was freaking out. I was like, Adam Warlock. And then she was like, we'll call him Adam. And I was like...
I don't know much about Adam Warlock except for the fact
he's
that...
weird.
Well, my
a lot of weird stuff happens with him.
He
tries to mate with Thor's girlfriend, Thor kicks him into outer space. He builds a cocoon around himself. He gets
Okay.
captured by these other people who make him a better person. A lot of weird stuff. Like, seriously, you should look it up.
My experience with him is Capcom made a game for Super Nintendo called War of the Gems. And you played as different Marvel superheroes, and you're trying to get the Infinity Gems, as they were called in the 90s. And he was basically like the rightful owner of the Infinity
he uses it in the comics.
Gems, and not Thanos.
Okay, the reason why is because he's supposed to be the perfect, like, being. And that's obviously what they're going for in the cinematic universe, because they're, like, the perfect beings, being. Except in the comics, he's created by lab dudes on Earth. And actually, Ayesha, I think that's her name, Ayesha, the lady of the Sovereign Lady, she's actually his twin. And it's all weird. But, like, very instrumental in defeating Thanos in the comics. But what's weird is that it doesn't... said, I think she's not... Adam Warlock's not going to be around till Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So they're going to have to come up with some other way to defeat Thanos. Yeah.
That's weird that they wouldn't have him face off against Thanos.
That's what they're saying. I'm not... I read something about that where
maybe he's just talking about as far as Guardians of the Galaxy movies go.
I don't know. But it would be interesting if he wasn't.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be... He's supposed to, like, kick Thanos' butt.
Yeah. I thought it... I put it right up with the first movie, and I've been hearing mixed reviews. Like, I've been hearing a lot of people say it's better, it's worse. I'm right in the middle of that. So
wait. One other thing, the pacing felt a little off.
Yes, I would.
There was a point where it was kind of slow. Like, I feel like it was like the early, like the little bit before the middle. Like I guess when they got to Ego's planet.
I would say when they crashed and they're like waiting for like Ego to pick them up. Like, that just kind of seemed to drag a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. There was just kind of a point in the movie where
and I even like what they did with Nova and Gamora, and exploring that relationship a bit better.
No. What's her name?
Nebula.
That's
Nebula. Okay.
Nova is a hero from the Nova Corps.
And
I wonder if he's going to come in at Nova. You know,
I would think
a weird helmet with the Nova Corps symbol.
So,
cool. Also the moment that rocket had a really cool moment. Remember in the woods with the Ravengers? That was awesome.
Yeah, that was done really well. Yondu had a lot of cool moments.
Yeah, I
liked how they explored like more of what he could do
before.
Yeah.
Rip Mary Poppins.
So. I'm Mary Poppins. that was so great. You look like Mary Poppins. Is he cool?
Is he cool?
Yeah, he's cool. I'm Mary Poppins. He's carrying the arrow like in a... Oh, that was so funny. Oh my... The humor was fantastic.
Yeah. So all of this to say...
real quick. There was a weird part in the theater when I went to go see it. Like, you remember that part where Quill is kind of learning how to use the power of the planet, and he makes a ball playing catch with his dad? People started laughing.
Yeah.
That's not a funny moment.
It kind of was.
No, it wasn't.
Why not?
Because that was like wish fulfillment for Peter. He was talking about how he grew up, and it was a painful thing for him because he made up and like he saw, other kids playing catch with their dad. So that was like him getting a chance to play catch with his dad. It wasn't supposed to be a funny moment.
It's also humorous, though, because it's two grown men playing catch, and it's with like an energy ball instead of like a regular ball like it typically is done with. I think
waiting for something funny to happen, so people were like laughing in like anticipation of like there being a punchline, but then when the punchline didn't happen, people just kind of stupid.
I just kind of thought it was funny.
I didn't find it funny at all.
It was a funny scenario.
It was a sweet moment for Quill to have.
Why can't it be both? Quill, but funny to watch.
Just because of the weight of it. Something can't be weighty and funny at the same time. I don't think in a storyline. But yes, that does bring us to why we're even talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. So in
Steven, I'm suing you. You're looking at your phone.
Oh yeah. Sorry, one minute here.
I'm suing you $3.
Yeah. So, and of course, oddly enough, this happened in Texas of all places.
I would have thought California.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I just offend a lot of
That's
people?
where I would expect this to happen. Nutballs out there. 37-year-old Brandon Vesmar filed a claim to recoup the $17.31 he paid for his date's ticket.
Let it go, man.
By the way, this article is on GameSpot.com. The site states that this is reported by the Statesman, which I guess is a local paper or website. The site states that Vesmar met the woman online, and the visit to the theater in Round Rock, Texas, was their first date. So yes, first date for them. In his petition, Vesmar alleges that the woman activated her phone at least 10 to 20 times in 15 minutes to read and send text messages. He said that she also left the theater after the movie without giving him a lift. How dare she? And that his subsequent attempts to contact her to get the ticket money refunded were ignored. Because it was a date, dude. Wow. So, apparently he put in his petition, while damages sought are modest, $17, the principle is important as the defendant's behavior is a civilized society. No, it's not.
She's so uncivilized.
It's not a threat, but moving on. Apparently the woman let the Statesman know that this is crazy. I had my phone low and I wasn't bothering anybody. It wasn't like constant texting. I'm not a bad woman. I just went out on a date.
So she's saying.
Even James Gunn, the director, weighed in on Twitter, and of course he's being sarcastic, but he does say, "Why stop at suing? All time." Yeah, like, what is this guy has an issue. This guy has a serious issue. Dude, just dump her. I don't see how.
I mean, obviously they're not gonna have a relationship continue now.
But I'm saying, like, why add insult to injury? Like, I kind of feel like there might be something more going on that than we know about. Like, maybe she said that she didn't want to go on another date, so this is kind of her. You know, it just seems silly that he's going to the.
Or this guy's just a total brat, and he's just like, I don't know.
Maybe it could be.
Maybe he's rich and he has nothing else to do.
A 37-year-old man behaving like this. It's embarrassing.
Like, so does he go to a lawyer and says, I want to sue someone for texting during a movie theater?
And then a lawyer actually takes up the case. Like,
how do you do that? Seriously.
I don't know.
It's so weird.
But, yeah. Hopefully this doesn't go anywhere.
It's ridiculous.